3rd, 2008. And Brendy, we are about to work on your piano. So pay very close attention to these steps. They're important because later on you're going to find out if you don't, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So this is all loose stuff here. What I'm going to do is tape that together so that when I take it off, it don't fall apart. Otherwise you have a hard time putting all them pieces of glass back in. So we do that in a couple places, alrighty? Now, there's 4 screws. One at this end, one right here, one right there, and one right here that I'm taking out. Four screws that hold this glass in, and it will pull right out of there. It fits tight, especially if you got those wires on there. Okay, so that's why we taped it. Otherwise, those would all fall out. So you tape it. Then you put it someplace where it's going to be safe. And then you lift these off. Put them where they're going to be safe. Now I'm going to do a little dusting, just so that we don't have dust flying all over. It's not very dirty to begin with. The sledge don't hurt a thing. Then you take a nice soft t-shirt and wipe things off a little bit. See there, it didn't take very much, did it? Just to dust things up. And then we can hold these lights back a little bit so that they're out of the way. We don't want them in that mechanism. So just get them back out of the way. They're not going to hurt a thing. Okay. This is what I'm particularly interested in right now. You don't need a special screwdriver. Here's a plain screwdriver. There's 2 screws, one here and one down there. You have to reach in and feel them. And you just unscrew them. And then this comes right off. See, it's rather a long screw. Keep it together. So in order to do that, I take a piece of tape, again, and tape it so it doesn't come off, it doesn't get lost. So there, now you're not going to lose a piece. Now what happens here is this rides up and down and it moves. These here, see that move? Maybe I can show you better with it running. See it? So when you put you put a roll in, the paper goes across those holes. This hole here and this hole here keeps that lined up. So this will move up and down, up and down, up and down, sensing the air going across here and across here to keep that in balance. And then therefore it'll play properly. See it looking for the holes? There goes the holes. And you adjust that right over here on this side. You lubricate with just a drop of oil. Right there and right here. Doesn't take a lot. Then this slides, you lubricate this right here. That slides back and forth from this pressure right here. That keeps the roll centered. The last time this was tuned was by Todd Alyssa's in 1998 up here at the camp. And the last time I rebuilt this was in 1986. So it's due for an overhaul. And I have all the slides along with this video to show you how each piece was done. So it takes probably ever 15, 20 years to do what I'm doing, or what I'm going to be doing, okay? When Todd did this, it cost $83.46. March the 13th, 1998. Just to give you an idea. Brenda, This is called the motor. Right on it, the instructions, since it was first patented back in 1898 or something like that there. Do not put any oil or grease or any other substance on this motor. You put graphite. You spray graphite on it. Back part down below. Can't show it to you because it's hard to see. But it's right down in there, and all you do is spray it on. You see, it don't look like much, but it comes out. Phew. And that's what lubricates it. Those things have to slide very freely. I made all this from scratch. Every piece was made. Okay, now we will put another roll in and see what it sounds like. This is called If I Didn't Care. I think originally it was with the ink spots back during the war. 1941-42. If I didn't care more than words can say, if I didn't care, would I feel this way? If this still love, then maybe I'm wrong. But why do I lie awake all night and dream all day long? Didn't care, would be the same. My every prayer beginning with just your name. And would I be sure that this is love beyond compare? Could this all be true if I didn't care for you? Hi, babe. Remember, you only put graphite, powdered graphite, on this engine. That's the engine. No oil. Says so right there. Just spray it in the back. You'll looking back, you'll see there's the parts that move up and down. Just squirt it on. No oil. This is very, very important. The machine will not work if you put oil on it. Powdered graphite. I'm going to tell you this over and over again. The rest of these mechanisms just a light, thin machine oil, sewing machine oil, on all these chains, all these moving parts. Don't put any oil on that right there. It won't work. You can't put oil or graphite or nothing. It has to be rubbed metal to metal. That's the friction. No oil there. You can oil this, but don't oil that little wheel. And you do that about every 5 years. So you might want to refresh yourself before you play with this piano and understand this video very well. That's the wheel. Don't put any oil on that wheel that rubs on this other wheel right here. That lines up the track for your paper to go across those vacuum holes that hook onto the hoses. There's 500 feet of tubing. Each tube goes to a bellows that operates the key. There's 88 key bar, and they're all numbered. So when you push this key, C, I guess it is, then that note was in here someplace, and the vacuum was broken, and it pulls the bellows together, and it hits the hammer, just like you do there. That takes the place of hitting it with your finger. Probably plays a better note too. This comes apart very easily. It's all progressive. To take this off, you have to take this off. To take that off, you got to take this off. And that one. So that's what we'll do. You notice they come apart very easy because they've been taken off several times. Thusly, you just slide off, and then there's a screw here that comes out. Like so. Know which screw goes where. Wouldn't even hurt to label them, would it? So you will know. So we took the screws out. This comes right off. Now, you wonder why your piano don't play right. I'm going to show you something. This comes off here. There's a screw down in here. I can see. It's a much longer screw. So you want to know where these screws go. You must take your time doing this. Look at there, the things that fall down in there that mess up the keys. Now I'm going to put these screws back in the pieces of wood so you know which ones go where. You could probably do the same thing. Okay, so parts of paper, and at this time it's probably a good idea to vacuum out. Not just yet though, because I've got a guy coming. And we're going to remove all this. This got to come out of here. And then we'll take the keys all out and clean them all up. And there's the stuff that gets down in between that follows up your playing. Stuff falls down in there. And that's why you keep your piano covered. See this knob right here? Well, that unscrews off of there. There's 4 of these. That holds this action in, along with this. Well, I'll have to show you. Along with this bar right here. That's all that holds it in. So you pull it out and you lift it up off of there. And it sits on 4 cradles, like a saddle, which I'll show you when we pull it. The guy hasn't come yet. I used to do this alone, but no more. It's too dangerous to injure the piano. Some more pieces that we take off. We set aside. There's 2 of those. That holds that etched glass in. If you don't want to put it in, you can leave the etched glass out. You don't have to put these pieces on them. But I made these to put the glass in to hold it. They just come right off. And we'll set them aside like so. Now that's ready to be picked. Well, no, I'll take that back. We got to go way over here and be very, very careful with what we do here. See that control? That's your. See that work? Well, they are hooked to the piano. And they've got to be disconnected. The big trick is when you disconnect it, it has to line up absolutely perfect for your tempo and your re-roll. So there's no way of telling. If you leave it in the straight position, alrighty, and don't move this, then you just disconnect this from here. Hope I'm not blocking it. And that's disconnected now. So now this arm is free. And then I'll do the same thing to the other one. And then that lets this come free. But there is a hose. See this hose here? Well, there's one at this end, much larger. It's a feeder hose that feeds all this. And it's big around like that, which you'll see. That's driven off from a regular piano vacuum cleaner made for the piano. Now the tempo one comes off a little differently. The tempo one has a little washer right here, little rubber or leather washer. I made it. It just unscrews. You pop it up through and swing it out of the way. Do not lose that little washer. It's leather. To give this engine and these bellows a longer life, dust them off probably once a year. So all you have to do is just dust them off. You can reach them right inside the piano. They're exposed. By dusting them off, it keeps the dirt off the bellows so that when it opens and closes, it don't cut like sandpaper. So you keep them clean. They're a rubber fabric material. I made them all. You'll see that in one of your videos. So you try to keep them as clean as you can. They're not easy to take apart and put together and make, I'll tell you right now. Okay. And he rotates the paper so that we absorb all the dirt all around, not staying in one piece. There you go. And then we spray it one more time to make sure we got it well. This is just for cleaning the glass, remember, because we're going to do this again once the glass is in the frame, which you'll see in a little while later. This is just to get it so we can handle it, and it's halfway decent. This is all in the rough at this time. Now we have to turn it over and do the other side. Okay, we've done, now we're doing the other side. And now we're ready to handle that piece of glass to put the putty in. Now that we've had this dry for a couple days, remember that glue we smeared all over? You watch it come off. Takes all that to sand down, and therefore you have a nice clean piece of wood all filled in. That's really solid. And we'll have to do the whole frame same way. Okay, until we get ready to find sand. Now we're going to wire brush. We're going to wire brush all the edges. That gets all the fuzz and all the loose stuff off. We do that to both sides, all over both frames. You see, it's quite a process. Having witnessed it before, now we are putting the first coat of primer on. Everything gets prime coated after we scraped it all down, and we will put this paint on. After this has been dried tomorrow, it'll get sanded, and then the high gloss enamel for good wear will go on. And there you have it, until we get ready for the next coat. And of course, down here in the front, everything gets the coat of paint, everything. Alrighty, we'll catch you later. Just so you can see the type of paint we're using for primer, it's the best that they sell. Exterior, semi-gloss. Good morning. It's about 7 a.m. Snowing outside. 3rd day of April. Can you imagine? Anyhow, all this now has to be sanded very lightly to get that fuzz off from the first prime coat. Inside and out. And we won't bore you to death with all this little bitty sanding, will we?